All right, so I am Miss Cross. I teach 2 periods of AP psychology and I have 2 periods of physiology. Yeah, and I've been teaching physio for like 13 years. Hey, and AP Psych, I think this is my 4th year of teaching it. It's been a while. 5th year.
Why did you want to become a teacher, and why did you choose to teach those specific subjects?
The honest answer of why I became a teacher is probably not the one that most people think of. So I actually was lost. I went to college and I studied biology and I had a minor in anatomy and neurobiology, and I did not know what to do with it because my plan was to go to med school. But I was kind of lazy in college and I only got like a 3.1 GPA. And that's not enough to get you into med school. You have to have at least like a 3.6, 3.7, and that's to get in kind of a sluggy med school. And so I was actually out here. I moved out here and I'm from Colorado. And I was doing lab work at a dog food company and I hated it. It was so boring. So basically we were doing like quality control and you would have to like, every day was the exact same thing. It was like Groundhog's Day. And someone's like, well, why don't you go be a teacher? And I'm like, I can't be a teacher. I don't have a teaching credential. They're like, it's LA. You don't need one. You can have an emergency credential and start teaching and then go back and get your teaching credential. And so I was like, all right. So I applied to LAUSD and they were like, sure, you meet our qualifications. And then I interviewed and I got a job teaching middle school. And that's how I actually started being a teacher. And I just kind of fell into it. So it wasn't a plan at all. But I just got lucky that I happened to find a career that worked out, you know? And then the specific classes that I teach, I love anatomy, physiology. That's what my actual minor is. I got to do a gross dissection in college, the whole 9 yards. And then there was a long time where they were asking me to teach AP psychology. And I was kind of like, I didn't want to do it because I taught AP environmental and I only had it for 1 year. And then I didn't get it back. And I put so much time and energy into it. I didn't want to do that for another AP class. And then Mr. Brookins came on and he's like, will you please teach AP psychology? And it was like the first week of school, like, here's the principal. And so I was like, sure, I'll teach it. And it turns out I love it. Like, I love AP psychology. I love the content. I like the material. I like teaching the AP classes a lot. I like the challenge. So that's kind of how I started doing all that I do.
I know in your class I'm really engaged and I'm really excited to say the answer and make sure I'm right. So how do you make sure that kids are engaged in the class, even without turning on cameras?
I want to say that means a lot to me because it's hard on our end to know if you guys are engaged. And I kind of feel like I'm failing at this point in that because it is hard to tell. Because again, I can't see you guys. I'm only getting little snippets. So it's really hard to tell if you're engaged. So it means a lot to me that you said that. But I think I'm very lucky for both of my subjects is that they both are naturally interesting subjects. And so you want to know about yourself, and the body is interesting. And it's a way that you can actually take science, which is hard, and make connections easily because it's your body and it's kind of thing. And the same kind of thing with AP Psych. It's easy to make connections. You can actually change your life or your thinking by it. So I think that I'm very lucky in what I teach. And I think what also helps a lot is that I actually like it and I enjoy the material. So I find it interesting. And so I think it's easier to make a class interesting. I don't like bio. You guys will see next week when we do cells, it's kind of a struggle for me to make cells exciting because how exciting can you make a mitochondria? You know what I mean? So I think that kind of helps. I think also I really actually enjoy working with the students. You guys are my favorite. I tell everybody I know, the students that I teach are the best people in the world. And so I really enjoy. And again, it's kind of hard in this online setting, but I really enjoy hanging out with King Drew students. I like talking with them. I like getting to know them. And so I think that also helps, you know.
Do you have any advice for incoming freshmen, about what classes to take or just in general, coming into high school?
I think for incoming freshmen, the biggest advice I can take is not to fall behind early. And I think what's really hard for a lot of the incoming freshmen is, especially in LAUSD, you're not held to any standards. So you can fail your classes in 6th grade. You can fail and go to 7th grade. You can fail your classes in 7th grade and then go to 8th grade, and you just keep going through and you don't have to remediate or take them again. Where when you get to high school, a lot of the freshmen come in and they fail a whole bunch of classes their first semester. And now they're already behind. Now they're having to make up all of those classes. And so digging themselves out of that hole, it really can hurt them. And then it affects later on when they're seniors. Even if they get it, like their junior year, their grades from their freshman year hold them back and prevent them from getting into some really good schools that they could have got into if they wouldn't have had that bad freshman year. Asking for help, reaching out to your teachers when you don't understand, and just making sure you do the work, making sure you turn in all of your assignments, even if they're not necessarily done 100% correctly, just turn them in, try. But yeah, that's the biggest advice I have for freshmen.
That's something I really like about your class. Like, I could come and ask for help if I was needed help, and like you encourage that. Like with some of my other classes in the past, I can like really ask them for help. That's why I'm kind of sad that we have to like be online with their class. I feel like it was in person, it would be 10 times better. Like, it's good now, but
no, we have a real good time in class. Like, oh, it's fun, and like my room at nutrition and lunch, because I have it open for students, so we always have it open and hang out, and if you need help with work or chatting or talking or whatever, and then we just have fun. And I think and I like to have fun, and we like to last, and so it's like and that's one thing I miss about this online. And the only class that's close is my 3rd period AP Psych class, because they'll make little funny jokes in the comment sections, and they'll talk a little bit, and we can actually have that banter, and they'll make a funny quip and stuff like that, and it just makes class so much funner. And that's what I really miss the most with this online, is that whole fun part and laughing, and especially because physiology, I mean, it's funny. You can make so many funny jokes and like inappropriate jokes and all that kind of stuff, but it's like I feel like it's so formal now that it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But thank you for participating in the spotlight. I really got a lot of insight on you and your class, of why you want to teach what you want to teach and everything, and like your journey to being a teacher. So I just really appreciate you doing this.